History is so fun, isn't it? You can learn about all sorts of events and people. Sometimes when you're reading all these stories, your brain gets what happens kind of jumbled up and out of order. That's one reason that historians often use a timeline. You know what a timeline is. It shows the events that happened in order. And they go from the first thing that happened all the way to the last thing that happened in order. And they often even have the dates on them. You've even made a timeline. Some of you made timelines showing me what you do in a day. Some of you made me timelines showing me your life so far. Well, you get to make another timeline, but this one's not going to be about you. It's going to be about anybody you study in history. You are going to do some research, learn about somebody, and make a timeline. I made a timeline to show you so you have a good example. Do you remember when we read a story called Clarence's Big Secret? Clarence was the boy who was born in the woods in Canada, and then he went to school, and since he was so much bigger than all the other kids, the teacher thought he was older and asked him to stand up and spell his name. Clarence didn't know his letters, so he was really embarrassed, and the other kids kind of laughed at him, and so he ran away. Remember that? And he never went back to school, did he? No, he didn't. His father was blinded in an accident, so he helped his father on the farm, and Clarence never learned to read. He kept it a secret. He had lots of good jobs, but every time they wanted to give him a better job, he realized he couldn't have the job because he couldn't read, so he'd quit the job. The only person he told was his wife, Angela, and she helped him. But after she died, there was nobody to help him do all the things that you need to do with reading. So he asked for help, and his daughter Doris taught him how to read. He was almost 100 years old by the time he learned to read. Well, after that, he read to many other people. Do you guys remember this story? It was a good story, huh? Well, I made a timeline to show you what happens in order. I put 1906. When I read the book, I could see it told me what year he was born, 1906. And there he is, being a baby. Then it said when he was a little kid, his father was blinded. So I drew a picture of 1913, a picture of him helping his father. His father's holding the saw, remember? Because they would go saw trees together. Then he got married. So that was in 1935. That one didn't tell me the date. So I went and I did some research. And I searched for him and learned more about him. Then in 1999 is when he started to learn how to read with Doris's help. Remember his daughter Doris? Then in 2008, he got an award for helping others because when he learned to read, he didn't just read to himself, he read to lots and lots of children and helped other people read. So in 2008, he got a special award. And then in 2012, he died, and so I put his gravestone with some flowers. That is the timeline. You are going to make a timeline like this, and you can research about somebody, anybody in history you want. I want you to pick someone different than you did, like at the beginning of the school year, you picked an American hero and did a project about that. Pick somebody different. We want to learn about somebody new. It could be somebody we've read about in one of your Savvas assignment books, or that we read about together in class. Or it could be somebody you research and learn on your own. Because you can go to a library, you can go to an online library, you can look at books on Epic, but make sure you're researching a real person because we're doing real history timelines, not pretend things, okay? And you will show me what happened and when. You can draw pictures, you can have words written. You should write your own words if you're a first grader, and if you're a kindergartner, your learning coach can write them for you. And you can write dates. When you want to learn about somebody on the internet, you need to be careful about where you choose to look. Have your learning coach with you when you decide to go look online to learn about people. Okay? We want good resources that are safe. The best place that you know will be safe is the UEN online library. And if you need help getting onto that, you just go ahead and ask your learning coach. And if they don't know, they'll send me an email and I'll help. Okay, go do some research and make a timeline. Your timeline needs to have at least 4 events. Thank you. I'll see you soon.